The holy is nothing but the ordinary, held up to the light and profoundly seen. It is the awareness of the creativity and a connection that we do not control in a universe that's always larger and more intricate and more astonishing than we can imagine. It is the acknowledgement that we are formed by the earth from which we arise and in which we live and move and have our being, and that we are, finally, not alone. Welcome to Pagan Perspective. I'm your Wednesday host, Dancing Rabbit. This week's topic is the gods. What I believe about the gods is difficult to categorize. And since my path isn't so much about belief as it is about experience and deeds, I'm going to spend most of this video talking about how I experience the gods. The sacred or holy is that which inspires awe and reverence, that which we should treat with respect, that which we worship. For me, it's the physical world that I experience through my senses. I see no sharp division between the sacred and the profane, the spiritual and the physical, the religious and the mundane. Because paganism is a nature religion, earth and all life upon it, including my own, is sacred. The sun, the moon, the stars, the planets are sacred. I don't believe in the gods any more than I believe in the sun, the moon, the rocks, or the cycles of the seasons. I don't believe in them. I experience them in my daily life. I connect with the gods by connecting with nature, because I believe nature is sacred. I worship them when I show my respect for the interdependent web of which we are all a part. Although I live in a city, I try to go out into nature as often as possible. I also show my reverence for nature by picking up litter along the street, walking instead of driving to the store, recycling, using wind and solar-generated electricity. I enjoy working in my garden, and for me, those two are acts of worship. As a pagan, I not only see nature as sacred, I see myself as part of the sacred, because I'm not separate from nature, I'm part of it. I'm a child of the gods. They are not distant beings living in heaven or some other plane of existence. They're as close as my own breath. The same force that lives in the universe lives in me. They can be seen in the cycles of the moon and the sun and the stars. And since we humans are part of nature, we too have the gods within each of us. They can be seen in the cycles of our own lives and in the circle of friends and family around the campfire. Although I usually experience the gods through my logical mind, I also experience them in what I call ritual consciousness. The conscious mind is logical, linear, tied to words. It's that voice chattering away in your head all the time. I use ritual to still the conscious mind so that I can connect with the gods directly through my senses, as I did when I was a very young child. In this state of ritual consciousness, I experience the sacred, both inside and in the world around me. Now, when I first encountered paganism, I was very much still a recovering fundamentalist Christian. At first, I was drawn mainly to the goddess. I think that it's a natural reaction for someone who is sick to death of worshiping a harsh, authoritarian father god who demanded that his words be followed strictly and demanded blood sacrifice for the smallest offense. One of the first books I read was Starhawk's The Spiral Dance. I connected with the goddess through her charge, in which she says, "Nor do I demand aught of sacrifice, for behold, I am the mother of all things, and my love is poured out upon the earth. Let my worship be in the heart that rejoices, for behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals." I began doing simple rituals in worship of the goddess, grounding and centering, aspects to raise power to do magic, or to simply connect with the goddess at the peak of her glory. I found myself recognizing those goddess qualities in myself as a nurturer, caregiver, and one who changes. As far as naming a specific goddess, that came later. At first, I was invoking Bridget, who is a Celtic triple goddess. The past few years, I've mainly invoked Caradwin. She's one of the crone goddesses, dark, mysterious, wise, giver of wisdom, revealer of mysteries. I've called on her for protection, for insight, and to heal hurts. Now, it took a while for me to realize that the pagan gods are quite different from the Christian God whom I no longer believed in and wanted to have nothing to do with. From the start, I was drawn to the horned god, Pernonos, herd, Pan. He is the son and later the lover and mate of the goddess. Now I realize that he's part of a different myth cycle than Caradwin, perhaps a much older one. For me, he embodies that which is truly masculine and wild in nature. Now I don't mean in some sort of locker room bravado, but rather a kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself. He is the hunter who willingly gives up his life for family and friends. He's also the hunted that is sacrificed. He's the sun that pours its energy into the earth. He is the seed that's planted into the body of the goddess. He is the harvest that is cut down and which will rise again. He is deep in the goddess, and by her he is reborn. He is an example of masculinity by connecting with femininity. I connect with the horned god who walks in the woods sitting meditation in some of the city's green spaces. The camping and woodcraft skills I learned years ago give me the feel of what my distant ancestors felt living in the wild. I connect with him also by doing practical things to take care of the earth. I feel more at home in my own body, now realizing that I am what I am supposed to be, and that I can freely choose and need not worry that I cannot be perfect. I challenge you to seek the gods yourself through studying the myths, doing rituals, and practical acts. It matters not if you believe they are separate individuals or aspects of one, if they are archetypes or spiritual beings. What matters is that you connect with them and make them real in your life. Till next week, this is Dancing Rabbit. Peace.